The familiar chime of the door, the clinking of bottles, gone. Across Canada, from Toronto to Newfoundland, a strange silence has fallen. On October 16, 2025, government-run liquor stores shut their doors, not for a holiday, but indefinitely. A nationwide strike, once unthinkable, is now reality. Steel grates are down, lights are off, and a country is left wondering, how did it come to this? Provincial liquor boards, near monopolies in most provinces, are at the center of a massive labor dispute. The shutdown has sent shockwaves through communities, affecting everything from weekend plans to the restaurant industry. Locked doors and picket signs have replaced the usual flow of customers. This is a national crisis, catching millions by surprise. Canada has woken up to a new reality, where a simple trip for a bottle of wine or a case of beer is no longer possible. This shutdown is the result of months of failed negotiations and rising tensions. At the heart, fair wages and job security. Workers say their pay hasn't kept up with the cost of living, even as liquor corporations post record profits. Inflation, housing costs, and economic pressure have squeezed family budgets to the breaking point. Unions are also fighting the rise of part-time and casual work, which erodes stability and benefits. Many employees, after years of service, are stuck in cycles of uncertainty, demanding more full-time positions and better protections. Chronic understaffing and burnout are rampant, affecting both workers and customers. For these employees, the strike is a last resort, a fight for respect, recognition, and a living wage. The picket lines are filled with stories of dedicated workers who feel ignored and undervalued. The impact was immediate. In cities like Vancouver and Montreal, restaurants and bars are scrambling to find stock or cutting drink menus. Many small-town liquor stores are social hubs and economic anchors. Now they're shuttered, leaving communities cut off. Weddings, parties, and family gatherings are being hastily replanned or downsized. People are checking dwindling supplies, anxious about how long they'll last. The shutdown has exposed the fragility of a supply chain most Canadians took for granted. Wineries, breweries, and distilleries, especially small producers, are suddenly cut off from their main market. A craft distiller in Quebec says, "If the SAQ isn't buying, our cash flow dries up. This could ruin us." The ripple effect is everywhere. Workplaces, coffee shops, online forums. It's a powerful reminder of how interconnected the economy truly is. On the picket lines, resolve mixes with anxiety. Maria, a single mother and LCBO worker, says, "I love my job, but I can't survive on part-time hours. We're asking for a living wage and job stability." Customers express frustration, but many, like David in Burnaby, say, if these folks aren't getting a fair shake, they have the right to stand up for themselves. The debate rages in community centers and on talk radio. Some blame workers, others blame government inaction. A small business owner in Fredericton says, "This is a failure of leadership. My restaurant is suffering because they couldn't reach a fair deal." Young workers striking for the first time speak of disillusionment. "We thought government jobs were secure, now we're fighting for our future." No one wants to be on the picket line, but many feel they have no choice. These stories paint a human picture of a crisis that's about more than just alcohol. Government officials are scrambling. Premiers and finance ministers face mounting pressure to resolve the strike. Ontario's premier urges unions back to the table, citing lost revenue for healthcare and education. Quebec's government calls the strike irresponsible, hinting at possible back-to-work legislation, a threat that only hardens union resolve. Business leaders warn of economic fallout beyond liquor sales, especially for hospitality and tourism. Emergency cabinet meetings are underway. Premiers know a deal in one province could set a national precedent. The challenge balance union demands, budget constraints, and public frustration. The political stakes are high. A prolonged strike could erode public confidence and damage governing parties. Into the fray steps Mark Carney, former governor of the Bank of Canada, with a warning that stuns the nation. At an economic forum, Carney calls the strike a symptom of a deeper economic problem. For decades, productivity gains were shared with workers. This strike shows that contract is broken, he says. He points to record profits for state-run enterprises, while frontline workers struggle, a fundamental imbalance. Carney warns, this isn't just a labor issue, it's a crisis of value and distribution. When workers feel left behind, trust in institutions erodes. His intervention reframes the dispute as a national economic imperative, not just a contract fight. Carney urges genuine dialogue, not just legislative force, to address wage stagnation and precarious work. The cost of doing nothing, he concludes, is far greater than the cost of a fair settlement. As the crisis drags on, experts see three possible outcomes. First, renewed negotiations, with governments pressured to offer a better deal, multi-year wage increases and more full-time jobs. Second, government intervention, forcing workers back but risking long-term labor unrest and poisoned relations. Third, a fundamental rethink of the state-run liquor monopoly. Some call for privatization or a hybrid model to prevent future shutdowns. No matter the outcome, the strike has exposed deep frustrations and forced a national conversation about wages, job security, and fairness. The country may soon regain access to alcohol, but trust between public sector workers and government has been shaken. The silence of closed stores may end, but its echo will linger for years.